Hello, beautiful dear soul ones. This is the fourth video of a series of videos about releasing and transmuting our emotions. And in this particular video, we will be talking about releasing and transmuting fear and anxiety. So fear, what is fear and anxiety? Fear and anxiety are opportunities for us to overcome our fears, to overcome our anxieties, are opportunities for growth. Sure, we have certain healthy fears, you know, if we're at the ledge of a cliff, we may have a fear from falling down, so we'll take 2 steps back. These are our survival instincts, these are healthy fears. But we have continuous fears. We may have fear of being in the dark, speaking out loud on stage, singing, fear of... There are many different things, of spiders, right? And all of these fears and anxiety moments are opportunities for us to take the looking glass and have a look, you know, let's go a little deeper. Where does this come from? What's going on here? You know, what can I learn? How can I overcome this fear? And it can be more of a, you could see it like a game. All right, let's tackle that fear. So some fears are we can overcome with action. For example, I always wanted to, I had fear of speaking out loud or in public. So I challenged myself a year or two ago to stand up in an open mic and share my poetry, right? And that was really big, and it helped me overcome my fear. And by each open mic, I noticed that I had less anxiety, I felt more comfortable, and soon now I don't have fear about standing on a stage so much. So I could overcome that fear. If you have fear of dark, we can sit in the dark and work with that. If you have fear of heights, we can go bungee jumping perhaps. And see that it's not so bad. But when we're dealing with fears of our mind, emotional fears that aren't that easy to overcome with such big standard actions, it gets a bit more complicated. And I would even say perhaps it's even the hardest type of fear to overcome, at least for me, I've noticed. So when we have these fears come up, for example, we are just feeling fear of life, fear of where we're transitioning to, fear of who we may be becoming, who we were. We feel anxiety about life. I'm not sure if I want to take the spiritual path. I don't know if I want to see all of my inner fears. When we have this mind fear going on, it's an opportunity for us to sit through our fears. So usually when we start to notice these anxiety and fears, we have a special button in our mind, in our body. Ooh, coping mechanism. Let's do that. Press the button, and whatever your coping mechanism is, whether going out drinking, partying, or watching some TV, or overeating, or whatever it is that makes you not feel that fear and that anxiety. Some comfort food, and that's usually a go-to. Okay, I feel fear and anxiety, let me quickly put a quick band-aid on it. But I'm not going to go and really take the time and heal it. So what happens then is anytime that such a situation comes up, we jump straight again to the coping habit, but we don't heal it by its core. Once we've healed it by its core, again, this situation shouldn't come up anymore for us. Or it may come up a few more times, but not as strongly, and we can work with it, and have less fear and less anxiety. So the way we can dissolve and release our fears and anxieties is to sit with them. And that's scary. So imagine you are going through a wild head rush of fears and anxieties, and you just don't know about life and who you are and what's going on and what to do. Right? And maybe you can't breathe properly, and you're like, okay, I need to do something. Someone needs to help me. But sitting through it. So number 1 would be breathe. Just breathing right here, right now. sitting through the fear. So we're not going out looking for distractions, but we're gonna feel really uncomfortable, but we're gonna breathe through it. Then we could also, if it helps, realize that any other time we have had fear, you know, it always ended. It was always okay. It always dissolved in the end. So 2 is just knowing that this too shall pass. Every time you felt anxiety, anger, frustrated, all of these things, they were just for a moment. They were never forever. So knowing that this fear, anxiety, emotion is not going to last, that it's just here for a little bit and then it's gone. Let's breathe with that. And then 3 is just going through it with love, understanding, and compassion, and no judgment. I have all these fears. I'm breathing through it. I know it's going to pass soon. I really feel uncomfortable and anxious and fearful, but I have understanding and compassion for myself. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel like a little baby right now and just don't know it all. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad or a good person. It just means that I am what I am. And I know in a little while this too shall pass. And then 4 is the affirmation of healing it. By sitting through it, you know, we know that by sitting through this anxiety, this uncomfortableness, this fear, this anxiety, I know I am healing myself. I know that I am being brave and courageous. I could be out distracting myself from this, but this is important. Apparently it's coming up to be dissolved. So we sit through it. And it could take an hour, 5 minutes. It could take 2 days, 3 days, a week, however long it takes for you. And we can go back into this and connect. What's really good is also to connect with the feminine and the masculine energy through our root and through our crown chakra and connecting them to our heart. What's very helpful is putting our hands on our heart. Inviting peacefulness and love to help dissolve our anxiety. And we could be really uncomfortable and even shaking right now, but we just breathe through it. So this sounds easier said than done, right? But it strengthens you. It really does. It helps you to be a warrior, and then you can take on any more fear and anxiety moments just like that, and you will know that you can get through it. The first time is the hardest. Once, there was a new moon in Pisces. It was very testing times. And in the evening, so much fear was coming up. It was like as if I was on a bad trip, and it wouldn't go away. And there was anxiety in my whole body, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, am I going nuts? Should I call someone? What should I do? And I got guided just to lay down and have my hands on my heart and just breathe through it and telling myself, I know this shall pass, this too shall pass. Tomorrow this will be gone, or soon this will be gone. It's just for now. It's okay. I invite to sit with my fears. I invite that uncomfortableness. And it was a whole evening, and the next day I did feel a lot better. A little shaky in the morning, and then afterwards it was better, and it really strengthened me, and it got me to see what was going on inside, where it was coming from. So the last thing we can do when we're back, feeling strong is, just take a looking glass and have a look, reflect, where did this come from? What emotion triggered it? And really go deep. Fear. So I think that'll be all for this video. We can overcome our fear by taking action, right? You're afraid of the dark, go sit in the dark. And then emotional fear is really just sitting through it. It's just like yoga. We get into an asana, and it may be really uncomfortable for a while because we've never done that stretch. And after, you know, weeks of practice, we notice that that asana is very comfortable, and it's okay because we sat through the uncomfortableness until it became comfortable. And that's what we want to do as well with our fears and anxiety. We want to sit through our fears and anxiety until they dissipate, dissolve, and be comfortable. Right? So when fears and anxieties come in, it's best not to push them away, but invite them in, because if we're pushing them away, we're denying this opportunity of growth, and it stays within us. And this is an opportunity to let it go forever. How nice would that be? I think this will be all for this video. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you check out the other videos of this series. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you.